Alright, what is going on, guys? It is Nix here, and welcome back to another video of Loco Shortline Operations. Now, it has been a little bit of time since I've done my last episode, or rather a lot of time has happened in-game, I should say. So if you've not been paying attention to some of the streams that have been happening on YouTube, you guys have missed out on quite a bit. I know there's a lot of content there to get through, but if you're interested in some of the background work in terms of grinding for some money and or laying some track, as this yard we did today, then go and feel free to check those out. But in terms of other content, we'll go and do some deliveries today, and I do have a nice little treat for you guys that haven't been seeing the streams, is a bit of an upgrade to our railroad. So we bought ourselves a GP38, and I went with the Maersk Sealand livery for this. So it's a bit of a beast of an engine. On top of that, we've now got 5 of these well cars, and these are pretty nice, very spacious, and it can hold quite a bit of freight. Now, for today's run, we're going to go down to billboards. We've gone and connected a few industries, actually, and some of the track is still under works. But as you guys can see, we've expanded a little bit. In fact, it even went down south to the heavy goods yard. So that's our newest addition. Right now, though, we're going to go ahead and run all the way down to billboards and try and pick up some lumber to start out for today's video. So let's go and get ourselves in the right direction and start this bad boy up. And like I said before, a lot of the grinding has been happening on stream only because I've been addicted to this game and really cannot turn it, take it off my hands. So, yeah, let's get in here. If you guys have not seen one of these engines before, this is a GP38. Now, I do believe from what I've been told on stream, I don't think this is the accurate cab and console for this engine, but it's relatively close. The game is not entirely yet accurate on such things, but at least it's in a playable, enjoyable state. So over here, if you haven't seen any of the diesel engines, there's usually a fuel gauge with a start and stop button, and a little button here to fill it. Now, I've already gone and pre-fill it, and it's a little... Oh, actually, no. It's pretty much full. So we'll go ahead and start it up here. And as you guys see there, there's a bit of a nice little startup animation and some nice little added detail to the vents. So we're going to go ahead and check some of the brakes on our cars. I think I've only tied the first one here, so we'll go and untie that. We did just hitch up to these guys. And then we're going to do a quick little run across the track here. We'll run right through our spawn for the time being. And I did go and edit this, so if you guys are unaware, the ground around here is not exactly level. So I went and made a little level yard back there, and some other runaround tracks and tracks for staging and whatnot. So let's go and run our track here a little bit and check our switches to make sure we're aligned all the way through to where we want to go. And there might be a bit of carnage along the way that you guys might see in terms of some cubes that may or may not have been left behind. We may spend some time cleaning those up. Whether or not we'll get to today's episode or another time entirely is yet to be determined, but there's plenty to do in that department. But we went and did our standard goods yard, or redid it to a nicer way. Left us with a few additional signings, but it looks like we're all the way good, all the way out to our main line. So we'll go ahead and hit F1 to teleport back into our engine. And I've left up some of the additional keys here, just so you guys can see it and learn along with me as well, because I'm still learning the game quite a bit. So we're going to hit U here to pop up the engine's UI, and we're going to put ourselves over in the forward direction here. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll put our headlights on there. And actually, while we're at it, I'm going to do this real quick and hit the start time. Now, that should initiate the day-night cycle, which I believe does take a little bit. So hopefully we'll see that over time as we go through and do our jobs here. So we don't have any brakes on, so we're good to proceed forward. And we'll go hit the horn. Now, it does take a little bit of effort to get this engine going, so do bear with me. It is sometimes a bit of a slow start as we move through here, but we don't want to go barreling through this yard either. These switches are not meant for high speed. And I did put a off stretch here for a steam locomotive. For the time being, I went and sold the other two Trojan engines that I've had. I will probably end up rebuying them just to showcase them later, but for right now, Sir Chalk and Sir Thonk are not here anymore. And we've kind of nicknamed this engine Sir Honk, as he's got a really nice horn. But this yard here is entirely level. Went and used some old building tactics. So again, if you guys are interested in seeing the kind of method that I used for building this area, then go watch the stream that should appear in the playlist prior to this video. So it should be like post episode 1 stream part 5, something like that. So this will be episode 2, and then any streams that follow this will be post episode 2 stream part 1, whatever. You guys get the point, gist. So I'm trying to at least record to some extent or stream all the content that I do in this game. So you guys will get both content that are going to be both recorded and streamed. And I do believe the track is connected in front of us. Sometimes the map doesn't always entirely update properly. But we're going to go head down to Billy Boards and acquire ourselves some lumber. And I do want to make a fair amount of money. If I look here, our money at Hart's Creek for lumber has re-increased to about almost 2,500 now. So we should be about full price there. Strumpton, I just realized too today that buys lumber for 3,500 and provides storage materials. So we might have to take a look at selling to them or building a line out there. I might do a lot of the building as part of streams, maybe. If you guys are really interested in a building episode, much like parts of the first episode I did, where I kind of did a time lapse through the building process, then let me know in the comments. I don't know how much people really enjoyed seeing that. I will try something a little different maybe next time, depending. But I got a few ideas up my sleeve, and we'll see how it goes. But we're good through our pass, and we are on some rails that you guys have not seen yet, unless you've been a part of my stream. So you guys will get to see some of these rails for the first time. I did connect to Sitesville, that's up here to the right, and then down here to the left is Billy Boards and what was the name of the other one? Lumberton. So Lumberton's only like a sell location, so we might not be there very often. But Billy Boards, I think, will be going in and out of. There's a lot of rail building that I'll have to redo, as some of these sections, like right here, is not really the most ideal thing in the world. So we'll up our regulator a little bit here. Trying not to really hammer on the wheel slip. So I've been pulling up on the regulator when operating this locomotive as I'm learning it, to kind of like notch up the speed, or do it in notches rather. I don't know if that's how they do it in real life. You'll have to forgive me. I don't know as much about trains as I probably should for this game, but it's how I found it to be best in terms of operation for this one. So we got ourselves a nice little bridge over a tiny lake, or at least part of a lake. And part of this track clearly needs to be redone. To be fair, I was laying this on stream, and I think it was like the end of like a 6-hour stream. I was very tired at that point and really just wanted to get to the location. So admittedly, this track is probably not my best piece of work, but hey, it works, so we'll go with it. And I think it's a bit of a wavy line, if you will. We got another S-bend that I'm probably gonna have to deal with. And some bridges that were left from building at some point. It is a nice smooth ride. I do really love the smooth rides in this game. Oh, and I don't know if we passed any yet. There might be 1 or 2 more cubes that have fallen astray. We have been doing a bit of a ridiculous run with some of the cubes on these kinds of trains, just because these well cars can actually hold quite a bit. Which has turned into quite a bit of shenanigans in the long run. Alright, I believe we're almost there. I do love this map. We can see ourselves in real time. We're almost there. We're about 2/3 there. So, oh, there we go. There's a cube. Only lost 1 there, apparently. But I'm gonna lower ourselves in speed here, or at least try to, because I don't want to go barreling into these locations. I really do need to work on the track around these areas, because a lot of them are just dead ends. And I've been running the trains kind of point-to-point location-wise. So I think in the future, probably during some streams, I'll end up doing some better infrastructure in terms of track building. Some of the more recent track that I've been building, though, has been turning out wonderfully. I'm actually personally proud of it. So I hope I get to show you guys that soon, if you haven't seen it already on stream. Alright, rolling up here. Gotta let them know that we're coming. And we're gonna throw on the brakes here a little bit. So that's gonna go off to the other town there. That really is only a sell point. And this over here is our sort of sawmill. This is where we're gonna get our lumber. Now, I did do a delivery here already in a previous stream, so there is already quite a bit of lumber. I believe it's like 34 or something. So we're gonna try and stack it as best we can and pray that we can handle that load going all the way up. I don't know the strength of this GP unit, so we're kind of just gonna load and pray for the best, if you will. But approaching here, I'm gonna slam on the brakes to stop at a decent location here. Alright, so we got 34 lumber, and we gotta go through the loading process. I might time-lapse this a little bit, so hold, please. Okay, well, we've gone and loaded some lumber, and I may have messed up a little bit on that, but it looks like it's okay, so hopefully we won't have to do any sort of recovery. Now, this is trying to stop here, and we've got 2 empty cars in the back, so hopefully that won't be too bad. I'm hoping the weight of this is nothing crazy, but we may struggle a bit. With that said, I'm going to do a quick save here, just in case we bin it. And we're going to hop on this thing and throw it in reverse. So let's get that in reverse. Hop on in here. And then let's be on our way. Alright. So we'll do this up in notches. We'll start out with 20% reg, see if that works. and we'll go from there. Now, this should be quite a bit of a heavy load, and I'm kind of concerned about one of the hills. So I'm really hoping that we can make it up there. And on top of that, we want to make it to Hart's Creek, I believe. So our switches should be aligned up until we get here. We'll get back to our standard goods yard, and then we'll go from there up to Hart's Creek. So while I'm at it, I'm going to go and flip this switch now. Hart's Creek, though, we're going to have to be careful on our approach. Otherwise, if we are not, we might end up going overboard. And, well, that's going to be quite a bit of a cleanup. But speaking of cleanups, I might go ahead and purchase one of the cranes or one of the vehicles. I haven't really messed with any of the vehicles too much yet. And I've been seeing quite a bit on using those vehicles for different things, so I definitely do want to try that out. Go ahead and switch our lights here. Got to indicate which direction we're going. Alright, up to 30%, 40% regulator. Don't want to strain ourselves, and we're already kind of doing that, so I'm going to wait until the sparks disappear before we up our regulator again. If it ends up being that we can't make it up the hill, then we'll go and try maybe splitting the train, building some additional track to kind of do that, and then see if we can do it, do the load up in individual pieces. Alright, so those wheel slip sparks are dying down, and we should be good to increase again. So we're going to up it another about 10%. And if we zoom in here, we'll go and check our speed. We are up to about 40 miles per hour, so we are doing good, actually. Sparks are coming back. So, yeah, if I'm understanding how this engine works, from what I've handled in game so far, we definitely want to handle this and increase it with notches. So, the more time we give it to kind of get up to what it's trying to do, the more strength it'll, I guess, have in the long run, or the faster it'll end up running. In other words, it's not a 0 to 60 type of engine. Now, we are sort of struggling over these small hills, but it is a bit of a wavy area. We're not on level terrain here. So hopefully we won't lose too much power. And I don't know if I'll be able to notch this up again. Got a few uphill sections here. We got maybe a nice spot here to increase more power, but we'll see. Alright, waiting for the sparks to kind of die out. Still flying. Oh, I did accidentally just up the power here, so I'm going to drop it down to 60 there. And hope that that will be enough for us to make the hill. We're just shy above 30 miles per hour, so I'm hoping that will be enough. But we'll find out. Right now, let's just focus on trying to get this up to speed here. Alright, sort of leveling out here on terrain. I'm gonna up it just one more time to 70. Let's see, is that giving us anything better? No. Actually, no. Our speed did increase a little bit. So we're gonna leave it at 70 and hope that that's gonna be enough. Our load seems to be doing pretty well overall, too. Which is why I like the little lumber pieces, because they're nice, wide, low-centered pieces. And on the car like the one we have, they're really great and will pretty much stay put. Unless we do something crazy, but I don't think we've done that just yet. Alright, speed is kind of struggling. May not make it. Alright, on the hill we go. This first little part might be the most challenging one. And it seems like we're getting it up. So, as soon as we break that little mid-hill there, I think we'll be alright. Because that second part might be a little less of a steep grade. So the load's breaking the hill. And we got our second little one here. This is why I want to come through here and maybe redo this. So hopefully by the next episode, we might have this part of the line redone. And maybe the Slightsville one as well. And we are breaking the second hill as well. Awesome. So that was a good little challenge there. It's good to see that the GP unit is holding up. I don't think we would have made it with 5 fully loaded cars, so we might want to consider getting a second unit. Alright, so now we can start laying off the regulator here, because it's going to take us quite a bit of time to actually stop with this amount of weight. So we're going to go through our Y here. And this one's about to be redone, actually. As it was a quick little Y that I put in here after building the new stretch down to the heavy goods yard. So hopefully by the next time you guys see this, this will be redone. So we gotta stop just roughly past that switch, and then we can reverse forward, or move forward rather, up to the Harts Creek. And I'm hoping we'll have a pretty decent payout too. If we're lucky, we'll be able to buy a new engine and maybe a few new toys after that. But here we are, approaching the switch. And once we're past it, we can move forward. Gonna apply a little bit more brake here. And we should be good to stop. Alright, oh, actually, did we go back far enough? Let's hope so. Yep, seems like we did a-okay. Cool. So we'll jump back here in the cab, hit our reverser into the forward direction, and then take our brakes off, and we'll be on our way. And again, we'll be coming from a complete stop, so hopefully we'll be able to gain some speed back. I'm going to up it to about 30% regulator. Now, we could have gone and sent our other two cars back, but we won't really need to. We should have more than plenty of space to sell at Harts Creek without any issue. Alright, well, I'm not seeing any sparks flying right now, so we'll up it to 40. Oh, there we go. There's some sparks under a rear truck. Yeah, there's a lot of the line here that I definitely do want to redo, and might end up having to recover some of the cubes first. So that might be a project. Still got some sparks flying here. As you guys can see, we've been messing around with the cubes a bit. May or may not had some shenanigans in that department. Approaching the bridge here. Yep, we also lost about three cubes into the water. I'm gonna lower our regulator because we don't want to blow past this switch here. Or blow through it. So this might be a bit of an ugly turn. No, alright, we handled it quite well. But definitely gonna need to throw some brake on to lower our speed here. And get it down to maybe about 10 miles per hour approaching this area. Got it at about 20 right now. And lowering it ever so slightly. So I think that will be good for us right now. We'll kind of just coast our way here. And that's actually a part of our original line. So if you guys remember the last episode, I think we were on that. That's the line we were using. I since rebuilt it a little bit. But I'm definitely going to do that again. So not entirely sure how I'm going to lay out each location, and I'm pretty sure I'll end up changing them as we move forward, because some of them are a little bit weird to build around, mainly just because of the change in elevation and some of the terrain. But here we are. I'm going to throw a lot more brake on, and I think I'm actually going to jump on one of the cars and throw one of those brakes, if it will let me. Come on. Oh, stop. Oh, we're actually going to need to build a little bit more track. Okay. Well, you guys are in for a bit of a treat, so, hold, please. Alrighty, and we're back. Built a little bit of track there real quick, and yeah, we'll go ahead and move the train up just ever so slightly, and hope that should be enough. Come on, engine. It's not too much of a fan of the weight right now, that's for sure. Oh, you know what? Okay. A bit of a goofball there. Had that brake on. That explained the lack of speed and momentum. I will leave it there. So 75.47 is what we're starting at, and we'll see how far we get in terms of money. And I believe it's 14 pieces of lumber per car, minus the last one. So we got about 34 in total. Oh boy, we already jumped up to 38. How much money did Harts Creek drop down to? 21.72. Alright, so we'll get a decent amount of money. We got enough money already to buy another GP unit, so awesome for there. Come on, keep it rolling. Now I am fighting the brakes a little bit. So we're kind of playing with the reverse, or the regulator and the brakes, trying to just inch our way slowly because I don't want to go barreling into that buffer over there. So let's see. I'll wait until this is in a little bit more. And sell. Oh, 64,000. That sounds very, very good. And just checking the length of our track here. We'll definitely have to extend that, and I might have to do a little bit more track work there. But for right now, I just want to get to this other group of product. Now it's dropping under 2,000 per crate, so I don't think we'll get too much more, but we'll definitely get enough to buy ourselves a second GP unit and rebuy the 2 Trojan engines we had before, just for decorations. Alright, there we go. So I'm going to turn the regulator off, let that come to a stop. And we got about ourselves $78,000. Now that is awesome. So that run was a bit of a combination. If you've been watching our streams, we went and did a whole bunch of cubes from, or standard goods from our standard goods yard to Timberfall. And then from Timberfall, we took a whole bunch of logs to Billy Boards and then brought the lumber here. Oh, actually, no, that might be wrong. I don't know. We'll do another similar run soon enough. But for right now, I want to get this engine in reverse and get ourselves back home. so before we go and tie or uncouple these cars, we want to make sure we tie at least one brake. This yard is level, so I'm hoping these cars don't roll anywhere, even if we accidentally leave the brakes off on them. But just for safety reasons, obviously, we want to have the brakes there. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this thing forward and take off the brakes here. And we'll give ourselves a little bit of reg. Let them know that we're coming forward here. Switch our lights. Alright, so I'm going to land ourselves right on the buy menu until I figure out what I want to do. So, we'll go and stop ourselves as close as we can get in front of the stand here. I think this ought to do right here. So, go ahead and stop there. Turn our light off here. Go back over here so you guys can see inside the cab with me. And we'll go ahead and do the stop here. The only disappointing thing right now is there's no like shutdown audio sequence, which I would love to see in this game. But like I said before, this game is early access, so there's a lot to be done still. Anyway, let's take a look at our locomotives. Now we're in the standard gauge section, and what we have right now is this awesome GP38. So that's worth about $35, or $35,000, sorry. And we could definitely get 2 more of these. Now, the next step up on that, in terms of similar looking locomotives, would be the SD units. Now, I don't think we have enough for this, maybe. I mean, we do actually, but we probably won't have enough for 2. So, I'm debating on whether selling this or buying 3 more, or we sell this and get ourselves an SD70, which I'm almost tempted to get, but for right now, I want to kind of mess around with lassoing a few engines. So I think we're going to buy 2 additional engines. So while we're working on that, let's go ahead and move this guy out of the way. We got to start it back up again. So we'll hit our start button. I love that animation, never gets old. So let's get this guy out of the way real quick. And we'll move it just down the track. Not too far. And we'll go from there. Now, I think I did make the mistake of not installing a turntable anywhere here, so I might have to do that, because I think I want to turn one of the engines around when lassoing them up. But this should, relatively speaking, give us enough space here, so I'll go ahead and stop this one here. Shut her down for a little bit, just so we don't burn fuel. I'll go back over here to the buy menu, and we'll snag ourselves another one. So let's go and buy another GP38, just so we have the power. Now, by default, they come in the Burlington Northern, I believe it's Burlington Northern's color scheme. But there's a few other ones, and I'm kind of biased to Marsk. There's a nice CSX and Santa Fe colors. But I think for this railroad, we're going to go with Maersk. So we're going to go pop up into this one. Fill it with fuel. I'd take a little bit here. And we'll start her up as well. Actually, while we're filling it, we'll start it up. So we'll get that one up there. And we'll use this one, which I think should be what we want. Alright, so reverse her forward. And a little bit of reg. We'll bring this one just out of hair here. And we'll give it some brakes. And shut it down. So we'll exit out of that UI, and we'll buy our third one. So let's go ahead and hit that buy button, get the right color here, and let's get her some fuel. Oh, start it up while we're at it, I guess. Alright, so before we lasso these up, I want to try and turn one of them around. So for that, we're probably going to have to do a bit of building here. So for the moment, I will BRB and we'll do some quick building here. And we'll get these turned around. Alrighty, so I went and built a quick little turntable and such. And I'll show you guys right over here. We extended the one siding, so we got a small siding here, and then we got a little bend and a little turntable. Now, I've not really used these yet, so we'll give it a go. But we got to get these on the right track here. So I think I'll rotate the middle one. So we'll go and move this one over in front. And it is getting a little dark here, actually. So it's kind of one of the first times I've messed with the day-night cycle in this game, so we'll go ahead and throw some headlights here. And might be getting a little too dark, actually. So you know what I'll do? Just for the sake of you all being able to see, and I hope it does get adjusted a little bit, but there you guys go. So we'll go ahead and stop time there. There is a day-night cycle available for people that do like that sort of thing. But right now, we're going to go ahead and start this one up as well. Now, I think... Oh, okay. Cool. So the switches let me switch it while the locomotive, I guess, is sort of on it. So we'll start this one up as well. And this one seems like it's in the right direction. Throw the brakes off. Give it a little bit of a regulator. I do want to refresh my track here and see that we do have the right switches set. So we'll go ahead and bring this one forward. And we'll assemble our lasso. And we'll have a little bit of money left to spare to kind of play around with things. So I kind of wanted to go with multiple engines just in the off chance that we do end up having a guest or two on our railroad. Or we end up opening the railroad up to other players. Just so we can have things for people to run with. Now, obviously we'll have to increase rolling stock at some point, but for right now I think this is a cool way of doing it. Alright, so give it a little bit more oomph here. Now, I do believe this should fit, or at least I'm really hoping it does, because if not, then that's a bit awkward. I've not used these, and it looks like it might be a bit of a tight squeeze. Well, I think we'll be good. Yeah, we'll be good. So we'll go ahead and stop that there. And I'm hoping... Yeah, alright, cool. Turntable works. It looks a little bit awkward. If you guys want to see another example of one, there's one over here. But that doesn't really show much different. So let me see if I can show you guys a little bit more what they look like. But generally there's like the little bridge, and then there's a little grate here that you can stand on. But for right now, that's not the one we're on. And it looks like it's keeping us in place as well, so that's cool. And we'll go ahead and give this a turn here. So it looks like we're almost about halfway through this. And I'm really happy that this GP unit fits. Now, I think we're definitely going to need a bigger one sometime in the future if one gets added to the game for some of the bigger locomotives. Okay. Wait a minute. Did it, like, auto-stop at, like, 90 degrees or something? I might have a slight feeling that our turntable, for some reason, is broken. And it might be something to do with the train. Because this should work. I don't know why it's not. Other than that, something got stuck, apparently. Well, this is awkward. Oh no. Well, looks like we might have a little bit of a change here in the episode. I wasn't planning on buying a crane just yet, but looks like we don't have a choice. So while we're kind of struggling here, we'll stop this guy over here. We'll stop this one over here. And we'll do something to try and recover this. So let's get over here. We'll jump on our third locomotive. And, let's see. We'll get it out of the way. Get out of that UI. Get into this one. Start it up. Throw it in reverse. And there's no brakes, so let's get this just out of the way for a minute. While we buy some other equipment. Alright. Stop that. Alright, well, if you guys are not familiar, there are vehicles in the game, and one of the ones that I was looking at is this Raven. So this is a bit of a crane, and I think it's a bit of a strong one too, so we'll go ahead and give this a buy. And doesn't seem like there's color options, so I'm not all too familiar with the vehicles, but I believe there's rail wheels. Yeah. So I think I just equipped those. Maybe? Yeah. Okay, parking brake was on. Yeah, awesome. So, crane to the rescue, I guess. I'm going to have to try and maybe drag the locomotive over. So I'm gonna ditch our rail wheels here. Get ourselves off the track. And attempt to learn how to use this. Maybe try and put ourselves maybe in a somewhat better position. This should do. And let me think about this. I want to have this end going towards the track. So yeah. BRB chat. been a little bit, and while I have gotten the engine mostly re-railed, I've got a bit of a hiccup here, and that is that this truck here does not want to go back onto the track. Now, unfortunately, we can't, like, body hit it or push it, unfortunately, so we gotta find another creative way of doing it. And I might have a solution if I look here through the track. And I want to try something here. I think it's this. So if we eject that, I'm hoping that maybe it might be enough to sort of align the wheels appropriately. Now, I've been trying to drag this along the track, along maybe one or two switches, and it hasn't really been working out for the best for us. So I'm gonna try and drag this, hopefully somewhat safely. And we're running over that part of the track now. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. And we've got another engine that I was using to kind of pull it around. I was lucky enough to flip the other bogie using a corner of a switch, but this just doesn't seem like it wants to have any of it. So I am not entirely sure what to do, other than maybe one other trick. And I didn't want to kind of resort to this, because it's what caused the issue to begin with. Oh, did I not leave the parking brake on? Come on. There we go. Maybe. Yeah, you know what? We can use the engine's parking brake here. Or not parking brake, but just brakes in general. This bogey has seen better days. Alright, well, the only solution I could potentially think of is to actually relay another turntable. So we're going to go ahead and delete this one. Maybe. If I can find or figure out how to delete it. Oh, there we go. Piece of cake. And I think I'm going to try and just place one slightly ahead of us. And hope that having it where we do will not be an issue. No, I want to delete this too. So kind of hoping that the turntable would act a little better while being a part of the ground. But it didn't seem like it wanted to. So I'm going to place one a little bit more naturally. And hope that by dragging the bogey onto this, that it might actually behave. So we're going to lay a little bit of track here. I'll try and connect it. It's going to be a little bit of a ramp, but it's kind of our only best option here. So I'm going to try and drag this, if you will, over to there and hope that we can get it into a position where we can set the bogey onto the turntable and then turn the table enough to realign the bogey. So, here's to hoping. I actually almost have it realigned and it's almost playing nicely. But not quite. Might want to try and nudge it this way. Oh. Hey, hey! Did that do it? I think that did it. Let's take a look. Yeah, that bogey is back on the track. Whether or not it's actually facing the right way is beyond me. I can't tell. But it looks like it is. So, I think I'm going to detach this guy. We'll jump in here for a second. We'll throw the brakes just for a little bit. back off from this guy. And we'll just lay back here a little bit. Are the brakes. Now I still want to turn this engine completely around. But before we do, I want to at least see if there's a theory about which way these trucks face. So we're going to let go of that. And we're going to retract this. This was actually really worth the investment. Has kind of added to how long this process has taken us today. But well worth it, I think. Alright, so we're going to back out of here. Go back through this. And raise our rail wheels. And we should be good to drive around normally. So I'm going to leave this out of the way just for a second. Actually, meant to throw the parking brake. Parking brake. There we go. And that is a little bit of a janky piece of track, but let's see if this is our moment of truth. And we gotta start the engine. That would help. Alright, reversers forward. And give it a little bit of power. And let off the brakes. Ooh. That's not good. So immediately the engine went backwards when the truck went forwards. So we're going to try and remedy this. To do so, I'm actually going to try and attempt to move the engine in the right direction. So we're going to reverse it to go forward. And let off the brake and give it a little bit more gas again. I don't know what the identification is for which way those trucks are facing. But we're going to get it on the turntable for starters. But only about halfway. Come on. A little further. We want the bogey kind of in the center. That's, I think, about as close as we're going to get. So, then we're going to jump in this guy. Let off a parking brake. Get in behind this thing. I think our rail wheels are down. Yep. Open up our legs. And we'll go and try and spin this thing around. Alright, this thing's down. And we'll be back in a minute. Okay, well, in the middle of figuring out which way that first truck is supposed to be oriented, we kind of messed up the back one here. And to be honest, I don't know if the back one is powered or not, but we're kind of in a situation. So, we gotta fix this as well now. This has been one long, annoying process, but it's been fun to say the least. So we're gonna let off the brake here. And now what we're gonna try and do is we're gonna take our little truck here, our crane, and we're gonna let off of our supports here. So we're back on the rail. And in doing so, hopefully we'll be able to move this locomotive forward. Oh, come on. Alright, I'm having a hard time seeing where I'm at. I need to extend this boom a little bit more. Nope, 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 no, 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 stop. We are playing on dangerous territory right now. Alright, let's extend this more then. Like this. Okay. That is, effective. We are really swinging this thing around. Holy. Okay. I'm gonna lower this down slowly. Hope that the front part rolls where it needs to. We are living dangerously here. Let's jump out of this for a second. We are, in fact, nowhere near forward enough. Alright, I'm really hoping that I can just, like, get in here. Put our reverser forward. And nudge us ever so slightly far enough without ruining the crane here. No such luck, it seems. I don't know what to do about this rear truck here. It's almost aligned again, but it got knocked by that console when we were trying to fix the first one. The back part of our truck is literally off the ground, it seems like. And just get it ever so slightly more forward. Oh, straining the truck again. Come on. We are almost in the right position. Alright, we've got the forward trucks pretty much right where we want them. We just need to lock them there. So, locking that brake now. Alright, this engine is not happy. And it's just got shoved a little bit by that rail. But all I need to do is just align the truck or get that truck on the rail. Alright, let's stop it there. Oops. Well, that's a bit of a predicament. Oh. Hold on, what do we got going here? We got some of the rails on. Or some of the wheels on. Will it be enough? No. Stop. Lift it up again. Come on, just play nicely with me. Alright, we got it up in the air. Stop, stop. Lower it. Are we on correctly? We're on. Alright, the engine is resting on that. We'll let go. No. Hard to get off the rails here. Basically driving around with a giant pointy stick. And moment of truth. She is back on the rails. Awesome. Well, this was a bit of a fun experience. Now the only thing left is to turn it around, finish the last of the way we intended it to be, and call it a day. Because this has been more exciting than I thought it would be initially. And we got to do quite a bit here. So here's to jumping in here. Maybe. There we are. Hitting the UI for this. Throw it in reverse. Pray that everything is good in the world. Off the brakes. That is not a good sign. Okay. Somewhere in this process, clearly I've reversed one of the trucks, and I think it's the back one. But because we've gone through so much trouble already, and I don't know which way these trucks are supposed to be, let me take a look at the other Loco. Right, there's a little cylinder thing, which seems to be only on one side of the truck. Okay. So they both should be facing forward. And this one is not. Okay, alright. You know what? Since we've already come this far, we're gonna jump back into this locomotive, or rather, I'm gonna move it. So we'll retract our boom a little bit. Lower this. Hit X. Should hook this up. Lift the truck up once again. Very carefully. And then nudge this backwards, I'm hoping. Oh, you know what? There might be a brake on. So, let's fix that. Yeah, there's a brake on. Okay. Let off the brake. Now we got a freely swinging locomotive. We'll extend our boom once again. So we get the truck. It should be in about the center of the turntable. And looks close enough. So we're going to go ahead and try and rotate this just one more time. And hoping that with the brakes off on it, it shouldn't cause us any issues and should just be able to move as nicely as it needs to going through this turn. So we're almost through this. Locomotive seems to be going a little off center here. So I'm gonna raise this up. And hope that it will bring us just about where we need to when it comes back around. Oh, it's dragging us, in fact. Alright, still getting there. Alright, if physics play nicely, yeah, that should roll basically back towards the center when it comes to a stop. As long as that truck doesn't come off the rail. The forward one, as long as it doesn't rotate, which it shouldn't because it's pretty high off the ground, will be okay as well. And our crane seems to be hanging in there. So, moment of truth. And after all this time and effort in trying to get this train back on the rails properly, we're still going to have to rotate it 180 degrees. But we can give this a bit of a stop here. Oh, maybe not. There we go. Alright, so that truck's still on, and this one is still up in the air. We'll bring it down nice and easy. I'm so nervous right now, actually, with this. I think it's centered. And I think she's on the ground. Nope, yep, she's definitely on the ground because she's rolling towards us. So let's get on here and throw a brake real quick. There we go, so she doesn't move. Hop back in here. We'll let go. That let a lot of pressure off. And we'll just dip this up here for a little bit. Get out of that. Okay, so we'll back this one up, hopefully with it properly working now. Off the brake. Yep. Trucks don't seem to be fighting each other. We'll center this a little bit more. There we go. Rotate it around so she's opposite of what we have the others as. Alrighty, well, we got this one finally the right way around, and I think for that, we're gonna have to call it quits for today. So this was a little bit more action-packed than I thought it was going to be originally, but with that said, guys, if you've enjoyed the content, thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And if you guys are interested, we do have a Discord server, which you guys can get a link to in the description down below as well. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. It has been a pleasure. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Enjoy!